It's almost like someone wants to destroy America. I mean, looking at this from a geopolitical purview and studying all the different angles and different permutations, it's horrible for the West. It's horrible for freedom. It endangers the entire planet, and the stratagem is clearly, during this global depression, to try to launch at least a major regional war. General Hamid Gul, thank you so much for spending time with us and adding your considerable gravitas and acumen to our overall analysis. Thank you, General.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dominic.
All right, there goes General Hamid Gul. Folks, the globalists already tried to start World War III with the Russians, and cooler heads prevailed when the Russians rolled nukes in Georgia, and somebody told Cheney, knock it off, and they pulled the NATO troops out. Again, I'm an American, but the globalists want to position us in this primitive, simple-minded, one-dimensional thinking of, well, if you're for America, let's have nuclear war with China and Russia. Woohoo! And let's get them Pakistanis. Pakistan's been our ally, folks. I mean, this is insane. And they've got al-Qaeda brigades all running over to Libya, openly run by the criminals that run our government. Our government has been taken over by globalists who want to destroy America, who want to destroy our economy, and who want to get us into wars while they finance our destruction, and then they end up on top sitting over in Europe. And I told you this for years because in the 30s we got some of the numbers on the Federal Reserve and haven't gotten them since. But you can also go separately study the Federal Reserve U.S. members and then who really owns them. And I told you most of it, more than 70% is what many of our experts have broken down, Ron Paul and others, is owned by European banks. I'm not bashing people in France or Germany or England. It's not about them. It's about the parasitic bank system that runs them, runs us, and you know, I mean, the global bankers put Hitler into power, financed him, financed Stalin, set that whole thing up. That's part of historical record. Goaded Hitler, told him he'd have support invading. The King of England was pro-Hitler. That's why they had Rudolf Hess fly over and try to parachute in and with a peace treaty, and they locked him up with no trial. He was saying, we got a peace treaty with you. We got an agreement. We don't want to go to war with you. That was a deputy Fuhrer, like the vice president, flying over. I mean, they will bring in World War III to get their world government on its ashes. That was always the plan. World War I, League of Nations. World War II, UN. World War III, world government. And, man, this is such a dangerous time. We'll be right back. Here's what I'm going to do. I have absolutely got to take phone calls. I want to take phone calls. But we've got Naomi Prinz on all the huge economic developments, former Goldman Sachs managing director, joining us. Huge developments on that front. I've got the Dominique Strauss-Kahn situation, the fact that they are normally a globalist can rape whoever they want, kill people, and the police won't press charges, especially in New York City. I mean, that's New World Order Central. I mean, the feds can blow up buildings and say they blew them up, and the cops follow orders and say, yes, sir. We're going to say bin Laden did that. This is definitely, and that's what the French, almost to a person, are saying in their polls, believe it's a setup because he was set to beat Nicolas Sarkozy. Notice Strauss-Kahn is the socialist leader. A big banker, 3,000 a night hotel rooms. I didn't even know they had those. Every British, French Airways aircraft had to keep a seat open for him. By the way, you know U.S. tax money goes to the IMF. A lot of the bailout money went there. So that Dominique Strauss-Kahn can have 3,000 a night hotel rooms. But that's only the beginning. These people have created over 1,000 trillion in derivatives. We're going to be going over that. And we've got Alfred Dask, really well-spoken sovereign citizen, you could call him, publisher of the Anti-Shyster magazine. Great work for decades. They did a really scary demonization piece, as you know, many of you, 2 nights ago on 60 Minutes, where they basically tell cops, if somebody is for the Bill of Rights and Constitution, they want to murder you. And they're your enemies, so we need to wage war against them. It's the mainlining of people that know their rights and aren't slaves and say no to the TSA sticking their hands down their pants, or who are against the income tax, which you didn't have until 1913, that you're a terrorist. So that's all coming up. And again, I scan over the news, I read it, and then I don't get to a lot of it sometimes because it's all so shocking. I've spent most of the hour just on the incredible situation with Pakistan. But I do have a big stack of news dealing with the police state that really illustrates where we're at. Just some of the police state from today. This is every day I see stuff 10 years ago that would have been freaked everybody out. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.